8:30 and 9 p.m. consisting of taking a sandwich. Chevion claims that Janiyah ate a normal portion of the meal before taking a bath and going to bed at around 9 p.m. in her normal spot on the couch in the front room. She follows up that she and Richard then went to bed at around 11 p.m. While in the bath Tuesday night following the altercation, Chevion claims Janiyah was trying to sniff, drink, or breathe the water in the tub. She states that she had to correct Janiyah about it, but offers no further explanation during this interview. She goes on to claim that everything was fine when she put Janiyah to bed. She then says she checked on the child at around 4 a.m. and the child was fine and up. This was just before Richard left to go donate plasma in town. For those of you who don't know, plasma is the liquid part of your blood. You can donate regularly for cash. Richard then leaves the apartment at around 5 a.m. and can be spotted on a bus heading into town. Soon after, Chevion gets up to check on Janiyah again, and this time she does so by pulling back the little girl's covers. She claims Janiyah was staring back, open-eyed and blank. There was no interaction exchanged between the two. Chevion lays back down for 30 minutes before realizing something is off, as Janiyah, uncharacteristically, was not yet awakened up. After checking on the little girl for a third time and realizing that Janiyah was indeed unresponsive, she decides to call Richard at the Telecris Plasma Donation Center because he left his phone at home. After 6 minutes of talking with Richard on the Telecris phone line, the call ends and Chevion contacts emergency services just before 8 a.m. Now that we've got the timeline down, I'd like to remind you not to get comfortable. Chevion provided 3 interviews to police, and her story does a fair bit of changing. Her third interview is a full-on video interrogation. If you really want to help piece together what happened to Janiyah Russell, stick around. Family could use your help. It's also worth noting that while the couple don't have any other kids themselves, they regularly babysit for other parents. Specifically, during this time, 2 little girls aged 5 and 1 that belonged to an ex-co-worker of Richard's named Liz. The last day they babysat these children was Monday, September 9th from 2 to 11 p.m. Their mother Liz had worked with Richard in Walmart before being let go. He, Chevion, and Janiyah were all about to move in with Liz, with the plan being to babysit her kids full-time as a means to pay rent. Of course, this would never happen because the day Richard planned to move was the day Janiyah died. And these aren't the only kids that Richard and Chevion looked after. And we'll get to that in a minute, as that information comes with a bombshell. So you check on 7:30, 7:45. How did she look then?
At that point, I figured something was wrong. She was looking the same, not moving, and then I realized her hand was really cold. So I turned on the ear, thinking that maybe she's just really cold.
Did you check her breathing? Was she breathing?
I don't think so. I couldn't really tell for sure.
You say you called Richard first? What did you tell him?
I just told him that he needs to hurry up and get over it because I don't know what's going on. She's not breathing. And he's like, well, you need to hurry up and go to the hospital. Like, okay. I just wanted to.
Okay, so then I'm guessing paramedics arrive and they grab Janiyah up and take off. So part of what we do as we examine Janiyah's body, she's got a lot of injuries. She has a lot of injuries. And early, when we first started a conversation, I asked you to make sure that you're honest with me and you tell me the truth with what happened. And that's important. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I can tell you that the extent of injuries that she has on her body is not from a scuffle.
I don't know about the extent of injury on the body.
Well, I can tell you that I've seen her body, and I'm telling you, this didn't come from a scuffle out in front of her apartment. Her injuries are extensive.
Yeah, the only thing that I knew of that was new to me was the spot on her stomach. I don't know where the that came from at all. I mean, and yet anything else I told you about, that's what I saw, and I did mention that.
So this all happened yesterday. You got to tell me how she got hurt like that.
I'm telling you how she got hurt like that.
She didn't get hurt like that.
Well, I
need you to tell me the truth.
I'm telling you.
That child's injuries did not come from a scuffle out in front of your apartment complex. I'm telling you.
I'm not trying to be funny at all.
I know you're not.
I'm not trying to figure out. The only thing I know about was her face. And then, like I said,
She has bruises all over her abdomen, all over her arms, all over her legs, all over her face, all over her head, all over her neck. She looks like she's been in a fight with an MMA fighter. She didn't get this from a scuffle out in front of your apartment. I'm telling you 100%, no doubt in my mind. I don't doubt that she was beat, but this didn't happen out in front of the apartment complex from some kids.
was like.
Describe that for me. I was just kind of wondering what that was. What do you mean she was sick in the water?
Like I said, because like I said, after that or whatever, she was laying down in the tub and she was like kind of on her side. So like I thought she was like just laying in the water and then like maybe blowing the water out her mouth, like on her mouth area so she could breathe or whatever. But I realized that she was kind of like, it kind of seemed like she was like trying to drink the water or something. Like I don't really know how to explain what she was doing because once I seen her doing it, I was just like, okay, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's dangerous. She don't talk back. She's just gonna get up and not do it. Yeah, she's just gonna stop doing it.
Did you have to get her out of the water or anything like that?
No, but the water was kind of like high to her body. Like that's why I'm saying like if she's laying flat, you see how little she is. It's like halfway covering up her. So that's why I was like, okay, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like
when you got her out of the water, how long was she in the bath?
I don't know, because like I said, she ended up staying in there a little while longer. Because I let her wash herself off, and then she likes to be in the
Okay,
tub.
y'all. So far, what do y'all think about what Siobhan Miller is saying? Do y'all believe what Siobhan Miller is saying? Do you believe some part of what she's saying is true? Do you think it happened this way? Do you think she afraid of Richard?
She soaked herself up and stuff like that.
Did you wash her like vaginal area or anything like that? Was she especially dirty or anything like that?
What?
Her private parts, her vaginal area.
Did you say was she especially dirty?
Yeah, was she dirty? You said she got a scuffle.
She had on clothes.
But did you have to wash her any like harder than normal? I'm just like other than normal stuff.
No, not at all.
Okay. You said you had to correct her.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Told her to not do.
That's it.
Yeah.
Told her not to do it. Okay.
I'm really still stuck on the fact of what she said. I really am.
When she came in, because you said that Richard wasn't there, and she told you that she got into a scuffle out in front of the building. Did you call him or send him a text? Hey, she got into a fight.
I said he don't really have a phone. The phone he does have his own Wi-Fi, so. Typically, he's not really going to take that phone because I'm the one that has Janiyah. And we don't ever really need to talk about it, ever.
As far as discipline, because she is 5, and all of us here have children. We know how 5-year-olds are.
She gets whoopings.
Did she get a whooping? Okay. Explain maybe how she gets a whooping.
It just depends on what she did. She was a very different. Like sometimes she'll like end up going to, work out, that type of stuff.
What do you mean work out?
Losses, like, because I don't really like whoopings.
Okay.
So I make her work out, or she said in the court.
Give me an idea of an exercise program you put her on for discipline.
Like, say, if she's been rain, she can do losses. And she can do some shit.
Okay, so she'll put her back up against the wall with her legs bent, and then she holds her hands up?
Yes.
And how long will you make her do that for?
I would say it's just depends. Like I said, for Ryan and stuff like that, and trying to be involved in business, it just depends. Like, she'll do sets, like, you know what I'm saying? So, say she'll do count to 10, stand up, and then go down, count to 10, stand up. It's like that. It's not like no extreme workout challenge. We're just like, just go.
How many push-ups?
10. Everything's count to 10.
Okay. When she gets a whooping, do you use your hand or you use an object? Belt?
I don't really give out the whippings. I leave that to her dad. But if he's not really like there, and it's just like, okay, she's being too bad, and my form of punishment is not like in that, it might be a belt. But yeah, that's about it.
Was she disciplined yesterday?
No, for what?
Well, then ask that about. Was she disciplined for anything?
No.
What about the day before?
No, we were released the day before. So if she was looking like that, somebody would have seen her like that.
No, I'm saying just as far as discipline. I'm not saying that she looked like that 2 days ago. I'm asking if she was disciplined 2 days ago for anything, for being bad.
No.
Oh,
Like, say for example, if anything like yesterday, she don't really like to laugh. So when she was pretending not to know a word that she was sounding out, she's really smart. It can take her a minute to do it. But sometimes it can take her longer because she doesn't want to learn. So for that, she had to stand in court. But that's the most she had to do yesterday, was stand in court.
so she stood in the corner yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you remember what time that was? When were you doing studies?
Around 12.
Why did she get put in the corner yesterday again?
Because basically she didn't want to. She knew what a word was, and she was pretending like she didn't know what it was.
A what word?
A word that we were working on. She was pretending like she didn't know what it was. So she ended up getting in trouble.
What was the word?
Fat.
Fat.
Fat. Wow, that's
Is she receptive to discipline? Does she?
She can be, but
Okay. It's typical federal behavior, yeah. Okay. All right. So occasionally she'll get a whooping with a hand or a belt. She also does, what do you call them, wall sits? Wall sits and push-ups, sit-ups, anything like that?
wow.
squats.
Squats. Okay, is that against the wall or freestanding?
Squats.
I know what a squat is, yeah.
Yes, percent.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask you really quick too? I know we had touched on it, but you had said she had complaints last night. What were her complaints? Was she complaining of a headache? Was she complaining like she wanted to throw up?
Yeah, no, she didn't ever say she wanted to throw up, but you asked like, oh, does her hair and stuff like that. Like, yeah, she did say, yeah, it's a little. And she didn't really, like I said, she's kind of tough, so she doesn't really complain too much. So if something was really bothering her like that, I don't think I would have known because, like I said, she's tough, so she would have probably just tried to sleep it off.
I was just asking because I thought you had said she did have complaints last night. Did I hear that wrong?
No, you had heard it right. Yeah, she did.
So then I just want to be clear that her complaints were that you asked her for head hurt and she said yes.
No, everything, like, just because of the fact that I would have to, that's part of the reason why she ended up getting the bag. Because,
Did you tell Richard about the scuffle up front? What did he say?
he was concerned. He asked what I did. And then, it was just, like, he's the type of parent, he's a guy, so he just feels like it'll make her tougher. He was concerned, but, he don't want to show his emotions like that.
Did you call the police?
No,
Did you call security?
no,
Did you go knock on any doors?
no. Because she was just supposed to be playing outside.
So your little girl comes in, black eye, bloody lip.
I went to go see what was going on, but like I said, by the time I got out there, it seemed like everything just, even the pool is open.
I mean, you didn't knock on no doors? You didn't say, hey, did anybody see anything? You didn't seem like getting you beat up? You didn't ask nobody?
And yeah, she was spitting out blood and she came into like her mouth. That's what I'm saying, like her mouth was like it wasn't like really like licking, but I seen it was like red.
Did you wipe it up with anything?
I clicked it. I
With what?
tissue.
Tissue?
Just tossed it in the trash. I mean, in the toilet.
Flushed it up, John? Okay. Let me ask you this. Is there any domestic violence issues in the home?
No.
You ever get in a scuffle with Rick?
I mean, everybody.
Never argued. I mean, you ever put his hands on it?
No.
We have bass. Drugs, alcohol use in the house?
I mean, we smoke.
Small part. It's legal now. We don't care. Anything else?
No.
I mean, we're not here for that. We're not drug people. We're not, is there any meth or any
No.
cocaine we're gonna find in the house or nothing crazy like that? Okay. And we just have to ask. Has anybody other than you or Richard watched this week?
How would you describe these whippings that she would get? Ever pretty forceful? She cried?
Who don't? You kids cry after getting yelled at. I had to sit the baby in the corner because she kept fighting her sister.
Okay, but he is kind of up. He's saying it's like he said it was with a belt. And then pretty forceful, pretty hard.
We don't do whippings with belt all the time. That's how we do workouts and stuff. But if she do have to get a belt, it's on her butt.
Okay.
First off,
When's the last time she went whipping with a belt?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
You can get whipped within the last 24 hours.
no, that she shouldn't have. No, because of possibly getting into
Any.
not for nada disconnected.
And when she moved, when my dad got full custody, was she with mom before that?
She was with her mom. She was foster care. She went back
Foster care here or where?
in Colorado.
And if I seem like, I know agitated is the right word, I see injuries like this on children, and because you don't have a better explanation other than she was outside and got into a scuffle, that's not good enough. That's not.
I understand that.
I'm sorry, it isn't.
Okay.
When a child has that, when her body is bruised from head to toe like that,
I promise you, I'm really trying to figure out.
you're telling me that you didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. And when Richard sees the stuff like that, it makes her tougher. Both of her eyes are black. She has 2 black eyes. She has bruising all over her stomach, her arms, her legs. She looks like she fell out of an airplane. And you're telling me it was a scuffle outside. And then apparently you didn't call the police. You didn't tell security. You didn't do anything. I'm assuming you've been with this girl for 5 years or for a year. I'm assuming you love this little girl. You take care of her.
Calling you mommy, right?
She calls you mommy, and she comes in beat up, and you're like, oh, well,
I'm understanding.
no big deal.
No, it's not no big deal. When she told me I'm ready to go fight, I'm not ready to call police. I'm not ready to call security. I'm ready to go to my dad. This is my child.
Then what?
That's the type of person I am. I told you when I went out there, it's like everybody had disappeared. Nobody was outside playing no more. The whole situation is completely died down. What am I supposed to really do?
You didn't knock on no neighbor's doors. Have you seen anybody put their hands on my kid?
Like I said, I really didn't think about it. I was just ready to whoop some ass right then and there. And when I'm in that mode, that's all I'm thinking about. And especially when it comes to her.
You got a little bit of temper.
No.
No?
When it comes to the right reasons.
Okay.
And somebody putting their hands on her is the right reason.
So if my kid,
And I didn't know she was her arms,
yeah,
her legs,
yeah,
her head.
yes.
No, like I said, the most I knew about was her face. But the fact that you're saying is all that, I'm really confused. I'm genuinely confused right now.
Me too.
I didn't know it was that serious.
That's why I want a better explanation.
Can you give me one?
I wasn't there. You were there.
I wasn't outside with her.
You're saying that all those injuries happened to her from a scuffle outside your apartment. That's what you're
That's the only way I know where he's coming from. I'm being so brutal right now.
Okay. That's what we're going to go with. And follow up. Operator, this is Detective Conover. That concludes the interview. The time is 11:52.
Roughly an hour and a half after Shion's first interview, while still at Sunrise Hospital, she requests to speak to authorities for a second time. This is where her testimony starts to change drastically. For the record, there's no doubt that Chevion Miller is lying about what happened to Janiyah. This is irrefutable. The question, though, is for what purpose? It's crucial that you're aware of all of the
It's 13:26 hours. We are at Sunrise Hospital, and also, again, we'll be speaking with Chevion Miller. And Chevion, you said that you had some more.
Initially, and they told me how to do the CPR. Water was coming out of her mouth and nose. So I don't know if that had anything to do with anything, but her mouth and nose had water coming out of it as I was doing the CPR.
Water.
Yes.
Okay. Then you were getting instructions on the phone about how to do CPR.
I was on the phone doing the CPR. This is why I'm really about it. I completely forgot about that. It was as I'm pumping, it's water coming out of her mouth, just flowing out of her nose on the foot, right in front of the couch.
Did anything else come up with the water?
It was like mucus. As a matter of fact, I think she had some spit like hanging out her. I don't know how I'm forgetting everything that I needed to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, she had like one out. That's what made me even acknowledge it too. She had like spit hanging out her mouth and stuff when I went to go check on her again. And then like I said, once I called and did the CPR, it was water coming out of her mouth and nose. It was water coming out of her nose. She just kept saying, just check her to see if she's breathing. And that's the only thing I was worried about. I didn't even say, oh, it's water coming out while I was on the phone. I was just trying to check to see if she was breathing. I don't know if that has something to do with the fact that she was drinking the water in the tub or whatever it was that she was doing in the tub. So it's like, I really don't know.
When did she get back?
Like, last night. Probably right before dinner, so like 7.
Was Richard then?
I'm not sure. I don't know, because I feel like when around the time when it was time for her to go to bed and stuff, I feel like he came like right after she went to bed. I'm not really like I said, I completely forgot to tell y'all that the water was coming out of her nose and mouth, which is a very important detail. So it's just like I can't even remember if he was there or not. Like I'm kind of traumatized, if you would choose to say. Like,
Did she dress herself after a bath, or did you dress her?
I typically trust him.
And I know I asked you this before. When you got her dressed after the bath, you didn't notice any of these other bruises that we've been talking about. Remember, I said her body's covered.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would have noticed it getting her up the tub. I really did not notice all that stuff. I genuinely, I'm telling you, like even with her head, like the fact that you're saying her head is whatever you're saying is going on with her head, I'm really like surprised. The only thing that I know of that she could have possibly done, but my nieces haven't even been around, they headbutt each other a lot. But my niece haven't even been around her,
Right.
so it's just like I'm not understanding at all where she would be getting these head injuries from.
Okay. Obviously, we're going to find out what more injuries we're going to have tomorrow after the exam.
Or
What other injury? We don't know. I don't know what's inside. I don't know what's going on. So that's up to a doctor to tell us what's
she
going
had
on.
external injuries.
I don't know. I have no idea. So we're going to have the doctor exam. If there are other injuries, we're going to know. We're going to find out.
Yeah, of course.
Is there anything else we're forgetting to ask you? Anything else that would have happened that might have caused these things?
No, but now, like I said, I'm kind of upset that I didn't tell you guys about that water from the beginning because that's the only thing that I could really think about at this point is that water. And it was coming out of her when I was doing CPR.
When he leaves,
Like I said, when he left, I went right back to sleep.
okay.
So,
Did you see her at that time?
no, I didn't get up until a few hours later.
You were awake, but you didn't get up out of bed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was up, but I didn't get up.
So you said you didn't.
Yeah, because I was, matter of fact, I'm lying. I did get up. I had to lock the door.
No, you locked her behind.
Yes, I did. I forgot because I just heard it was a serial killer on the news. How ironic is that? So I ended up on my bed. I'm just going to lock this door because it's crazy out here. I didn't acknowledge her. I just went back to the room. That's why I'm not remembering that. I did get up at that point in time, but I didn't check on her until I woke up later on.
Okay.
And then, I realized she was different than normal. And then I just still brushed it off because, like I said, the way she was looking, I really thought she was possibly just laying there. And then I realized, like I said, she's not getting up. Okay, let me go check on her. She's okay, all right. And then I realized, okay, something's wrong. Like I said, that's when she had to spit on her pillow. And then that's what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm missing the stuff that matters. And then that's when I realized, okay, she's a little cold. I need to turn the heater on. Then I called her dad, like, okay, something's not right. And then I called 911, which I probably should have called 911 first and then her dad. But I just wanted him to know, okay, you're going to have to go to the hospital because once I get on the phone with the ambulance, I'm not going to be able to call you. And that's pretty much how it was.
A few days ago, Richard told us about an incident that happened a few days ago with you have a girlfriend named Deshanae, and was she over there visiting you guys at your place with her kids?
Yeah.
Do you remember something?
Amy and her left. So I'm not, I don't know, we get kind of busy sometimes too. So it's just like, my sister hasn't really been over there. I mean, it probably was the other day, but I don't really remember exactly what day it was because it was right before we got the little girls. So it was the other day, but I don't remember,
Is Deshanae your sister? Or
No.
she's a friend?
She's my friend. But
What's her last name?
Johnson. What did he say afterwards?
Well, I don't want to tell you what he said. I want to see if you were. I want to see if you were there. Did he tell you about an incident?
I'm not sure. I don't know for sure exactly, what it could possibly be that he's talking about.
Did he tell you that something happened?
It's always something happening.
Something happened. I mean, it's something that's serious that you would go, oh, okay, that's what happened. Or she would have got a whooping.
Or where she got a whooping. Was it she was kissing the girls on the mouth or something?
Nope.
Oh, then I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know. This is not.
Oh, done it. My thing is this: if you all are going to, you have to be around your children too. If you're gonna keep them, you know what I mean? Because the daddy supposed to been at home. He's sitting there eating McDonald's. But I'm saying that the daddy trusted Siobhan around her daughter. So she wasn't the dad really. I don't know. I really want to know what really happened because I just don't believe their story. I think something happened to her the day before, or 2 days before, or a day before, but not that day. I think something happened to her when before the dad left. What do y'all think? Do y'all think something happened to Janiyah before the father left? The reason why he left. Because he was somebody else at McDonald's.
Over.
Wendy's.
We were supposed to babysit today. So it's like it's not really anything new that we're always having kids around, especially little girls. So it's like
Did he tell you that he had to spank her with a belt?
he don't run his stepfather. Not really. He don't run his.
So you don't have, that's just not something that come in conversation. Hey, by the way, I had to spank her today for blah blah blah.
If I had to whoop her, I want to run that by him.
Mhm.
But if he has to whoop his daughter, he doesn't have to run that by me. I just told you what she got up to, with the most recent thing that she did. So it's just like I don't know what that could have possibly been, and it's been a few days since my nieces have been over or my sisters been over, so I don't really recall too much.
Okay. This case is going to be solved medically. Not me. I'm not a doctor. I don't do that. But when I'm at the autopsy tomorrow, I'm going to know everything that's wrong with Janiyah. Know everything.
And that's what I'm saying. The only thing I can think of at this point that could have possibly happened was that water. And like I said, I was pumping her.
The only two people that have had contact with that baby
It's me and her.
is you and him. So somebody ain't telling me the story. Somebody's not telling me the truth. Babies don't get full of water all on themselves.
I told you
Not
she was
so. Not from that. Well, that was at 7, 8 o'clock. This is 10 hours later. She's not still full of water.
Right.
She's not. It didn't happen.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she was drinking it. I feel like she was breathing it in.
Breathing the water.
But then she would have expired while she was taking a bath. She can't be full of water 10 hours later while you're giving her CPR. That's impossible. I'm gonna know more tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I want you to be prepared for me tomorrow.
Okay. I didn't do anything to her.
Now y'all see why some baby mothers are so particular about who around their kid, and you see why the baby daddy is particular about who around their child. In this instant, the mom supposed to be on gave the child to the father. But I'm saying, do y'all see why some women be like, I don't want my kid around that girl. I don't want my children around that girl that you got. No. You see why some women are funny acting about the stepmother or either your girlfriend. That's y'all not married, but that's your girlfriend. And then you see why some mothers feel the way they feel. You know what I mean? Hey, baby.
She was laying there.
You coming in at a good time. Just catch up with it.
Have done something like putting her under the water or something like that.
Did she accidentally drown in the water last night? And
I'm not sure because at a certain point in time, I did walk off.
well, what I'm saying, last night before bed, she's in the bathtub. Did she drown while she was in the bathtub? And you're scared to tell us that she drowned. And that's how this other story came up with checking on her throughout the night, and then you finally call for paramedics in the morning. Obviously you know that you have to call somebody and report that your child has passed away. So with the water coming up after her, it makes me believe that maybe she had drowned.
I would not have waited that long to say something because I would have felt like there was possibly a chance that somebody could have saved her. Now, if anything, maybe my time frames are wrong, but other than that, I'm literally telling you that's what that was. Like I said, maybe my time is off, and maybe the night was a little later. But other than that, no, I'm literally telling you that's what happened. knowledge of why the water was coming out of her like that.
Did you find her dead in the bathtub
I don't
earlier?
know. No.
You can tell me. That would explain a lot. That makes more sense now. If you're telling me that she had water coming out of her while you were giving her CPR, that makes sense. This is the time to tell me the truth.
There was water coming out of her. I wouldn't wait hours to call for help. Does not make no good.
Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened to this little girl.
I am.
You can do it. You're strong enough. Go on. I believe in you. But you gotta tell me the truth.
She was laying in the tub, first of all. Why? Just saying, would that even be believable if I pumped the water out of her already? You can't see water in her lungs if it's already pumped out of her.
During the autopsy, if she drowned, there will be medical signs that will tell us if she drowned. We'll be able to know that.
It was water coming out of her.
I believe you.
Can we discuss this tomorrow? Please.
You should tell us now. It's best if you tell me now what happened. I want to know what happened to this little girl.
I'm not trying to go to jail for something I didn't do that nobody did.
Tell us what happened. Tell us when you found her. When did she drown?
I don't know for sure it's drowned or not. I thought she was just laying there. I don't want to go to jail for something I didn't do.
There was 2 people in an apartment.
Her dad was not there. He didn't do that. Nobody purposely harmed her like that.
Then tell me how it was an accident.
I don't. I really can't.
That little girl deserves the truth.
I do completely understand that, and I'm giving you the truth. I really am. But I just don't.
You were a mother to her. She thought of you as mama. She called you mama.
I know all that. That's not really going to help. I want to know that I'm not going to go to jail for something that wasn't done purposely or something that I didn't do. Something that he didn't do. Neither one of us sat there and heard her like I don't. Purpose or ever tried.
But Shavion, you won't tell me what happened.
I just want to know I'm not going to go to jail for something that.
Explain what happened to me. Tell me how it was an accident. You're strong towards it, so it makes sense. Please.
I don't know what. Like I said, that was just scuffle. The water was just running, and I wasn't paying attention.
And what time was it?
I don't know what time it was.
Was it? You think it was nighttime?
It was nighttime.
Was Richard there?
No.
How long was she?
Your diagnosis can change how you envision your future.
How long was she in the bathtub for?
She wasn't in there alone. That's what wrong. I felt it up and then I walked off.
Did you turn the water
I
off? When you went back into the bathroom, was the water running?
I ended up turning it off.
Okay.
Then I walked off and I came back.
Okay.
Like I said, she was laying in the tub. I got her out. I tried my best.
When she was in the tub, was she face down or was she face up?
I don't know. Because like I said, she was laying in the tub at first. And she was laying there like, on her back and stuff, just without water to fill up. I don't know what happened after that. I just grabbed her off the tub, and that's why I think that mark came from on her stomach from me trying to get her out the tub, and she was like laying over the tub. Because like I said, that mark itself on her stomach was not there. I don't know where that came from. I don't know even know if that sounds realistic or not, but that wasn't on her. Nobody, like even when you're saying like the bruises, nobody don't beat on her like that.
So,
You can ask my sister. She was living with us for a couple months. I don't even whoop Janiyah.
so when you pulled her out of the tub, was she breathing?
I thought she was. I thought she was. I thought she was. I really did. That's why I just laid her down to go to bed. She, she was able to get dressed and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like.
She got up and she got dressed?
No, I'm saying like I got her dressed, but
You dressed her.
yeah, I don't her sit there like that. I feel horrible. I have to go talk to her dad, and I still haven't seen him. He left the house with her, understandably alive. Is he on? As we all thought. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like she was fine.
Is it possible that when you pulled her out of the tub, that she already...
I just wanted her to be okay.
She put a blanket
On her, and I laid her down because I thought she was just tired.
Did something happen before the bath? We might have been upset with her. Anything like that?
No.
Did you tell Richard about what happened in the bathtub?
I didn't talk to him until I thought she was fine. I thought she was fine.
How long was she in the bathtub?
I always leave her in the tub long.
How long do you think?
Like 30 minutes. Not even that long. I can't calculate time. I can't. Time is just not my friend.
So she was on her stomach, but her head was to the side.
Yeah.
Was she floating on top of the water? Was she under the
She
water?
was on the water, and then I don't know. I just
Would you be able to show us
show you what.
how she was in the water?
Did you try to do CPR when you got her out of the tub? You did? Okay. Did water come out when you did CPR?
Then I called her there.
I meant after you pulled it. So was the bath this morning, not last night? Because you said she took a bath last night and she was floating in the water last night. So when you pulled her out of the tub last night before you dressed her and put her on the couch, did you do CPR then? Did you try and revive her?
No, I didn't.
You just got her dressed and put her on the couch?
I couldn't say anything. I really thought she was fine. She's kind of dramatic sometimes. So I thought she was just playing along or something. I didn't know. That's why I tell her all the time, stop being so dramatic, because when somebody really needs to know what's going on, they're not knowing.
There was no way for her to tell you what was going on because she had already passed away. She couldn't tell you.
No, maybe not. Maybe she didn't. Like I said, my time is off. My time is off for when the timing was. I don't know what time it was. All I know was just dark outside.
Were you concerned that when you had to pull her from the tub, I mean, she must have been just limp. She must have been just lifeless.
Like I said, my time is off. I wouldn't leave her there.
How come you didn't call for help?
I did.
Last night after the tub you didn't.
She got
I
a
know
bag
you did this morning. How come you waited so long?
She got a bag this morning.
She got a bath this morning. After he had already left? Okay.
So I really tell him.
Okay. That makes sense. That's better. What happened during the bath?
I don't know. Like I said, she was just laying down, chilling. And then all of a sudden I come back and it's just like everything is just wrong. So when I got her out, I laid her down for a second. Because I don't know, I just thought she was kidding. I really thought she was kidding me. I really did, because she's just that type of kid. Like she do goofy stuff like that. So I really thought she was kidding with me for a second. And that's where I messed up at. Thinking that it was a joke. Thinking that she was just playing. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't need for that to happen. And I don't want to go to jail.
So now that
You going to jail?
not last night, because he told us she didn't get back last night, so we already knew that. What time did you put her in the tub this morning after he left?
This was a little bit after he left. Because I ended up getting to like the door. She was already up on site, ready to go and get ready, because we expect that she'll be dressed and ready for today. And it just went sour.
When you say it went sour, what do you mean?
She's not. That's my fault. So what's going to happen to me
Exactly.
now?
We got to talk about it more. But you know what? It's a lot more helpful now that we have her. Does it make sense?
It does. We're thinking a lot more stuff. I mean, we weren't thinking you were a monster. We're thinking you had an accident or something happened.
It was an accident.
Absolutely. Sounds like it to me.
Did you put her in the
She was already laying down when I was in the water. Like, you know, before you even get the water in there, she was already laying down.
Laying on her stomach or her back?
No, she was laying on her back, just chilling, waiting on the tub to fill up. That's what I said.
But she was awake.
She was wide awake. Then just out of nowhere, she's on her stomach and her head's on her side. And I'm like, what the
So that's when you took her out of the tub?
I didn't know. I thought she was still playing. I thought she was still playing and she was tricking me. I really did. I thought she was tricking me this whole time. I thought she was breathing. I did. I really did.
So did you take her out of the tub? Did you drain the water?
Yes.
And then once you took her out of the tub, what did you do?
I thought she was just playing. I got her dressed and I laid her back down because I thought she was just tired. So, but I haven't ever lived through nothing like that before. And with the type of kid we have, I'm just thinking it's all funny games. So I'm like, okay, Janiyah, it's not funny no more. You need to go and get up. And she's still not saying nothing to me. So I'm like going in her mouth trying to see if she needs oxygen or something. Like I was just playing at that point. I wasn't even taking it seriously. So I'm just like, okay, if you don't need to doing this, then let me know. And she's still not saying nothing. So I'm just like, what the heck is this? And that's when I was like, okay, no. I had to call her dad, like, Janiyah's not breathing. And then that's when he was like, okay, hurry up and call the hospital.
So when you had taken her out of the tub and you thought she was playing, because she was
Yeah.
she was limp, I'm guessing. And then you started, did you start to give her breaths, you're saying? Okay, because you're not, yes. And then you thought she was playing
Yes, I still don't.
from the time.
I couldn't breathe. When I was trying to breathe, blow the air in her mouth, I couldn't blow it in. It was almost like she was holding her mouth. So it was almost like I couldn't even blow the air in her mouth. So I'm just like, okay, you playing. I'm going to just leave you alone. I covered her back up. But when I came back, she had that look on her face. And I'm just like, something's wrong. You're not changing. You're not blinking. You're not responding at all. Like, that sound shit. Mommy, I'm just kidding. Something would change. And it's just like, at no point in time I went in the room and everything, nothing changed. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, no, something's wrong. And I waited too long.
How much time do you think went by?
I don't know.
That's when you called Richard. And then he told you to call for help.
I didn't even stay on the phone with him for a minute.
Okay. And then you called us.
Yes.
Okay. And then did you do CPR again with the operator?
Yes.
Okay.
Should have just said that.
Is there anything else we need to know about?
Did she slip? Did you hit her head?
That's what I was thinking. Like, I've been trying to figure that out this whole time. Because she possibly slipped and hit her head in the tub. Like, how could I miss that?
You said she was laying down when you put her in.
Exactly. So that idea went out the window. What happened?
Operator, this is Detective Conover. Same person in prison. We're going to stop for now. And time is 14:07.
As you can see, in the short space of time between Chevion's first and second interviews, the timeline she actually gave police has been completely disrupted. And I think the important question there is why. We could spend a lot of time playing spot the difference and create a whole new timeline based on her second interview. But I think the main point of contrast is the fact that Chevion now is claiming Janiyah's bath happened on the early morning of September 11th, not the night before, sometime just before 911 was called. And this certainly changes the dynamic. She further claims that Janiyah wasn't responsive and acting normal after the bath, stating that she thought Janiyah was just playing around or being dramatic. Janiyah's body was in fact loose or limp when she was carried out of the tub. She was also laid over the tub, something Chevion didn't mention in her first interview. In fact, Chevion's first interview paints the picture that Janiyah was responsive, active, and totally coherent, at least in the bath and shortly after getting out of it. But the child's condition must have been bad enough to cause some concern because Chevion proceeded to blow breaths into Janiyah's mouth before she called 911. Yet after this and dressing her, Chevion left Janiyah on the couch and went back to bed. When she finally checks on the child again, 911 is called. This is where Chevion adds that water was coming out of Janiyah's mouth as she performed CPR on the girl, while under the instruction of the emergency dispatcher. Now tell me at what point in this new timeline would you have called for help? And if someone going through this experience didn't call for help, what might be their reasons? There's so much conflicting information in Chevion's first two interviews. There's so much obvious deception. But that big question still lies in that one single word. Why? Why lie? Well, there's still so much more to talk about. police decide to take Chevion back to the apartment and have her do a video reenactment of what happened earlier that morning prior to the 911 call. They, much like you and I, are having trouble following her summary of events.
This is over number 838. This will be one video react. Today's date, or the number, I'm sorry, is 1990. 50033. Today's date is September 11th. 2019. The time is hours. Also, unit 74 of that folder, one related to a child death and Chevion. If you could, now you know that this is all voluntary. You don't have to protect. Do you agree to go ahead and move forward with us to help us understand what happened today? Yes? Can you verbally say, okay, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to hand you the doll. I'll let like you the doll this morning. Okay.
Just watch it.
The right side?
Yes.
Okay. How full was the bathtub?
You see this?
That ring right there? It was a full tub. Was the water still running?
I think I might have turned it off already. I don't recall
Okay.
that.
You remember you turned it off when you came in and saw her like that, or you turned it off prior to it being like that?
I don't know if I already had it off. I don't remember turning it off.
Okay. And then when you saw her like that, what did you do?
I immediately. I sit right here.
You said her, did you have to hold her?
No. I thought that's why I thought she was just just like, you know, still get nothing because like I said, I didn't have.
Was she?
Yeah, so you right then and there. And like I said, I really. I'm just going to sit up, so I put her clothes on. I'm like, okay, well, the first thing was like the position that was in or something, but I feel like she's still thinking something's wrong.
In the lip,
At that point in time, like I said, I was severe.
this sign. Hold on for one second. Let move this sign right here so y'all can see this girl what she's saying. Hold on, y'all. Let me move this out the way. Oh Lord, let me move. I'm trying. Hold up, y'all. Yeah, I want y'all to see this child. Sorry about that.
It kind of seemed like she was just spitting out. Like, you know, like she was just, you know, she's still there. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay. I just want to make sure y'all can see.
They were like, man, that's automatic. Okay. But, yeah, at that point when I had her up here, and I realized she wasn't responding. Then I called the ambulance, and then that's where they told me to properly position her and then perform CPR as I gave her the breaths, you know, and then the process. But because like I said, actually, when I'm trying to call her, I'm instructed to, yeah, you know, liquid was coming out. So at that point, I'm really concerned. And when I walked off, back, uh, she was like, smell, or if it was just, and she was out of the house, like, up and stuff that way.
How was her body to the touch?
Her body was warm.
Her warm?
Yes, some part of her hands to feet are normally cold when she get out of stuff. So at first, that's what I'm saying. A lot of signs of it really made me feel like it was just her playing alone, just her normally. Because if she get off the tub, she's wet. Her hands and don't have socks on. Her hands did get cold. So, like I said, her body was warm to the touch. But her hands were cold. And
She breathing when she like she was asleep.
they started stressing her.
She's unconscious.
And then, what else were you asking?
So we have the positioning, we know close, we know you can call 911. Music on. You said you did some breaths, then you walked off. Did you walk to the bathroom? No, you walked.
No. I walked in the room. You told me when I was like, well, I thought she was just.
Yeah.
You know, I thought she was.
Okay. Who'd you call first?
I called it, and then I called you right after, but it was at 7:45.
Because they record all the calls. And I have all.
If you have the colors, and there was a list right because she could have.
So investigation is scientific. A lot of the things that we do.
Hey, y'all. Watch this. This gonna trip y'all out.
A couple hours bruising was in cut notice, and you then addressed her. The bruise.
I might know where that came from. I literally just saw that, but the arms and stuff like that, I don't know about anything else. Other
She wasn't bleeding.
like she was bleeding, and then she was like spitting out blood from the other day. You know, because I give her a bath all the time.
Was she spitting out the blood? Creep from the crack.
Huh?
Or was that this morning?
No, no.
Yes, okay. So one of the things that was let's go. So one of the things we do is, like I said, that it's scientific here, like, is that she was over.
It was none of that.
That was like
from, and it was just sitting there.
So how does the blood get in the milk?
Because the toe problem was from the last time she had a bad incident first after from when she came in and all.
So you're saying that this blood is in the tire was the day before?
Yes, because I read this word more than
I
once.
told y'all. I told y'all the day before. I told y'all at the beginning of the day before.
I don't know if I did clean it up. Yeah. She's a red.
You put her in a bloody
So
tube.
it's pretty dirty. I'm not
So
saying
you're saying that blood is from
oh,
all from the day before?
yes, because I'm telling you.
You put her in a dirty tub?
First of all, she would have.
Because that looks like a blood.
It do, but it wasn't. It was maybe. That looks like a lot of blood to me as well. And that's
From you as she had her in the sink. Because we have blood on the song.
I don't know because it would be red. But yeah, I don't know.
Your friend's blood.
It could be a mixture of it.
Okay.
But that's
Like old blood?
That's what I said. That tub wasn't cleaned out right.
Okay.
So it's like I would have seen the blood tub with her in it. It didn't look like that, and I think it would have been probably I don't know.
Okay.
That,
And we're gonna help get the doctor to Lindsay interview, same person as Brett.
And she returns to the apartment with Richard. No arrest. She'll do one final at the moment. But all avails Vegas Metro in them is hair-raising, especially when combined with some of the other information I've gathered. If you recall, specifically in the form of bruises, and with a belt sometime further into detail information was leaked. When questioned, Richard claims the last time he used a belt on his daughter was roughly Sunday, the 8th of September. He stated that the reason was because Janiyah had a tendency to remove the diaper or clothing off the two little kids that he and Chevion babysit and do something he described as really strange or really bad. The transcripts are censored, so the exact details are unknown. But these two little girls were not the same two little girls that he was watching for his ex-coworker Liz. In fact, these children were the ones that Chevion described in her interviews as her nieces. Rick referred to them in the same manner before clarifying that they weren't actually related to him or Chevion, but rather belonged to a long-term friend of Chevion's who lived with them for a little while up until that week. This is the woman Chevion referred to as her sister, and her name is Dejanay Williams, or Dejanay Johnson as she's later named in court documents. According to Richard, it was Dejanay that caught Janiyah doing he claims he had to discipline Janiyah for that because it wasn't stuff she should be doing. One detective asked him, so she took off a baby's diaper and was blank. Again, I can only speculate. Regardless, Richard answered, which Richard claims he doesn't know and states that he's very hands-off when it comes to girls. He doesn't even like it if he has to go to the bathroom with Janiyah and prefers that Chevion handle all that. It's weird, and it makes him uncomfortable. At one point, Richard is asked, are you implying that at 5 she blank? Again, censored information, so we'll have to guess what's being said based on further context. Richard answers saying that couldn't be possible at Janiyah's age. He's also asked if Janiyah ever mentioned being like she wanted to tell him something. Janiyah also had trouble sleeping at night and would frequently wake up in what Richard described as a real deep sweat, not like a normal sweat. He did mention, however, that she went through some stuff with her biological mother when she was younger, but that stuff was never elaborated on. As far as I know, and from what I can gather, there aren't any allegations of sexual misconduct at the hands of Janiyah's birth mom. Regardless, Janiyah was beaten by Richard with a belt for what she did to Dejanay's youngest child. By his own admission, she was struck 20 times on her bare bottom. When asked if he was upset, Richard said extremely, because what Janiyah had done, in his words, was very, very bad. He even recalled seeing visible damage begin to form on her bottom while in the process of beating her. So much so that it caused him to stop and realize it was a little too much before making her go and stand in the corner for 30 minutes. He was also asked if he may have missed her buttocks with the belt and hit her legs, and he said possibly. Now, cops described bruising to one of her legs as so severe that it went down to the bone. It literally affected all of her leg tissue. If the bruising on her leg was caused by this spanking before she was made stand in a corner for 30 minutes, I can only imagine how much pain and fear this little girl was going through. And Richard claims he didn't use a belt on her often, but the belt that he used had no clasp or buckle. This was clearly a belt that was kept for one purpose, and that purpose was attacking someone. It was used to harm someone who seemed to be already dealing with the most horrible trauma imaginable. Trauma a 5-year-old girl should never, and in my opinion, so regardless of who you think, remember what he did. Instead of actually getting her help, he should have got her professional help, but instead, he tried to beat it out of her. That's a fact. How else can you describe the details that you just heard? Might be important at this point to clarify just how Janiyah ended up in the custody of Richard Davis. About a year prior to Janiyah's death, Janiyah's mother called services on herself in Arapahoe County, Colorado, and basically admitted to being unfit to or unwilling to raise Janiyah. The child ended up in foster care at the time for a short while and visited Janiyah there while in the custody of the system, but this claimed that her father had been touching her inappropriately during this visit. She told this to multiple people in Colorado. Nothing was done about the allegations. Social services were apparently set to stand assume folded up with her father in the clip by Daddy's mean to me, Colorado. I believe she was trying to say something else. Let's watch that clip again with this new context.
You gonna have fun with your daddy? Yeah. That's good. Call Grammy anytime, okay? Okay. I'm gonna give your daddy my phone number. Because I love you.
I'm gonna talk to my mommy. And then I'm talking to my mommy when he's being mean to me.
Okay. That ought to be interesting.
That's why mommy tell me I can don't my dad touch me. And then he's still touching me.
No, hopefully
At the house.
you won't be doing all of that, okay?
Okay.
Just have a great time with your daddy, okay?
Okay.
You tell me in the comments what you think Janiyah meant in that clip. We should also remember that a sperm sample was found on Janiyah's body, a sperm fraction was found inside her body, and were micro tears to her private area. At this point in the investigation, those samples are still being tested. We'll be coming back to all this. Taken to the station, arrested for the murder of Janiyah, and formally interrogated on video. The first thing to note before this plays is that when Chevion is picked up, she has visible signs of injury on her body that were not there the day before. Not only were there marks on her wrists indicating potential self-harm, but she had what looked like 2 ligature marks around her neck as if something had been wrapped around it twice. Now remember, Chevion went home to Richard that previous night, yet it doesn't appear as though a call to emergency services on Chevion's behalf ever occurred. So put yourself in Richard Davis's shoes. Your 5-year-old daughter's suspicious death occurred mere hours ago. The only person with her at the time of her death was your girlfriend, and her story has changed over and over. Then later at night while at home with you. Your girlfriend attempts to harm herself. What is the first thing you would do? Would you call someone immediately? Or would you do nothing other than simply wait for the authorities to pick up your girlfriend the following day? I can hazard a guess as to what most completely innocent people would do. Regardless, this is Chevion's final statement.
What you have done here.
Okay. What I want to do, cause only thing they're gonna do is interrogate her, and she gonna do but say the same thing. I want to take y'all to here. This is Shavion friend. Let's see what the friend got to say.
This is Janiyah Johnson. If you haven't seen my documentary on the murder of 5-year-old Janiyah Russell, the Law and Crime Network YouTube channel, and watch Whispers in the Water first. I've linked it down below in the description and a pinned comment for your convenience. It's crucial that you've watched that in full before proceeding with this video. I'm not going to answer questions in the comments below if it seems like your question is rooted in the fact that you didn't watch both of these videos. I spent 3 years making that documentary. It's got a lot of information, and you'll need it all for context. Janiyah Johnson, which is her real name, not Janiyah Williams like I previously thought. Apologies. There are actually 3 women named Janiyah close to this case in some way, and 2 of them have the last name of Williams. But all you need to know is this one, Janiyah Johnson. If you'll remember, in Whispers in the Water, there was a friend of now convicted murderer, Chevion Imani Miller, that lived at the Suites apartment with Richard Chevion and Janiyah for months before moving out following a disagreement. Janiyah also had her kids staying in the same apartment at the same time. These are the kids that Richard claimed Janiyah was sexually inappropriate with. This is how Richard attempted to explain the recent discipline of Janiyah.
So I had another friend named Chanel. I had another friend named Chanel. So we shared a mutual friend. And me and Chanel, we always like on and off. It was like I was cool with her sometimes, but Chevy, that was like my baby. Like she would come around, she's older than me. I love her. Like how we connected because she used to help me out in school. Like because Chanel was the tutor. So she was tutoring her, and Chevy was helping me with certain stuff. And then I brought her over to my house because I was always one of those friends that was like, "Hey, come over," And she came, and then ever since then I fell in love. Like as far as like a friendship, like oh my god, like I love your personality. I got a friend with a big butt because I kind of got a big butt myself. So she was always down, and Chevy with the Chevy. So we would call her that, and we would always hang out. She met my and our situation, our foster care mom, she was kind of she got along with one of her foster sisters, but the rest of them they was always mean to her, and they didn't buy my friend anything. They didn't really do anything for her. So I don't know. I don't want her to get mad at me, but I want to be honest about everything out in the open because if nobody else can tell her story for her, I will be able to tell. And she would go, they would go boost. We call it boosting. She would go get clothes to look nice and do her hair, like I said, and she always said that she was going to be a hairstylist. So from there, we hit it off. Like that's been my girl. She even protected me a couple of times when I was getting bullied in high school. And she protected me. Like the girls was actually like, she ain't the one to mess with, you know, because I'm not confrontational, so I don't like to be in any stuff. But she was just so kind-hearted, and every time I took her to, uh, like out of all my friends that I've ever had, like I got into 2 arguments with her. Only one last argument that we got into was, remember when I told you we was in the argument. But the first time we got into it, we was arguing about a TV show, and that was the only time that we actually got into an argument. So from there, you know, we always went to family gatherings, and then she got moved too. I think she ended up getting moved because we tried to get her. Because my mom's a foster mom, so she fostered before. So we were thinking about options to take her in. You know, well, my mom was, because she was older apparently. So, and my mom was gonna take her in, and she said, "Well, you know, if you don't like where you're at, you can, you know, move in with us for a little while until we figure out your situation." Because we knew that they were taking from her. Like it was just sad. Like, you know, I even kind of got jealous of her because my mom was like showing her a lot of affection, and my mom had to let me know, like, you know, she don't have nobody. She don't have nobody on her side. And I was like, okay, girl, like you trying to take my mom. Like it was like that. And eventually she moved to another group home, and I didn't hear from her for like probably like, I want to say like a year or so. I didn't hear from her because of where she moved to. And then there was a party because my mom always moved a lot. So we moved. I got reconnected with her, and from there, she had a friend named Keisha, and she was telling me about her new dude that she just got, which was Richard. And this was like, okay, so if she graduated in 2015 or 2016, because she's older than me. So I was 19 when we started being friends, but she graduated before I graduated. And by the way, I didn't graduate; I dropped out. But if I would have graduated, I would have graduated in 2015. But she had already graduated. She was telling me
Flooring from 79 cents a square foot. Corlux water.
I go to school for cosmetology. She was going to do nails and hair, and we would always, me and her personally, would watch my little cousin Avion, and we always watch Avion. Like my mom would be at work, or she would go out of town, and we just kept him all the time. Right? He was a baby at the time. Like he was a fresh baby, and we always had him. Like I got pictures of that too as well that I could send to you. If I could find the actual pictures, because I know that I should have them somewhere in my storage. But yeah, so ever since then we've been friends. But when she met Keisha, that's when she met Richard, and from there it was a blank for a minute. guy, and she told me about it. She was like, someday we'll link up again, and they shared a Facebook. So she didn't have her own social media for a minute. She ended up sharing a Facebook with Richard, and I don't know how, but we got that connected again. And that's when I talked to her over the phone, and she was pregnant, and her stomach was big, and I was like, oh my God, like my friend is having a baby. And like I said, she was 8 months at that time. So I'm like, oh my God, when you're having a baby, like I was just so pissed up because, like, I didn't expect for that to come out that my friend was having a baby. So it was just shocking because
Yeah, this is Javiana's best friend. She's telling her side of the story.
but I know how much she loves children. So I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, that's beautiful. I'm a firm believer of black love. I just thought that he was a good guy in the beginning, and they always start off good. And then, fast forward, I didn't see her for a very long time. I didn't even see any pictures. There was no updated pictures. All their pictures that they had on social media was all old from when they first got together. So I really didn't get an update about the situation. So I'm not sure the timeline, but I know that it was a couple of years, and I reconnected with her, and her and Richard would always ride a moped. So I did end up reconnecting with her again, and that's when they were staying with the grandmother. So the grandmother was living in Summerlin in Las Vegas, or somewhere around there, in Summerlin. But the house was so big that this is like the rich people neighborhood. So I remember she invited me over for some drinks and stuff because we needed some catching up to do. Like we had some catching up to do, and I went down and we hung out a couple of times. She ended up telling me like, hey, me and Richard's gonna get our own place, yada yada yada. But at the time, she's a Cancer. Cancers don't tell their business. Like they're not one of them type of people. Like even if it was trouble in paradise, they put it like outwardly. Like, hey girl, I'm in a fucked up situation, or I'm with somebody, and he's like, we're having relationship problems or whatever. She wouldn't tell me, but I never questioned it about the baby. I never questioned it because I figured like if she doesn't have the baby, I put two and two together. Like either she lost her baby or she don't have she lost the baby to the system physically. So I'm like, it was kind of odd to me, but I never really questioned. Recently, at the in 2019 when I was staying there, she told me that she don't want to talk about it. So every time I would ask her about it, she would say, "Hey, I don't want to talk about it." Like you could tell she kind of got emotional. So they ended up getting an apartment. So they was telling me like, "Hey, we get our own spot. Anytime that you and the girls want to come over, you guys can come over." Yada yada yada. So that's when I met Janiyah. I did meet her. I did meet her there. I did because she was little, like she was tiny, and she was saying that she was down here for like I don't know, like the winter, like the spring break or whatever. So she was there, and I remember this pretty little chocolate day.
drop dramatically reduces redness.
The mom and stuff like how the mom just she was a unfit, but that's all. I mean, I can't really tell you too much about the mom because I really didn't know anything about her. Like because the mom, as far as I know, that it was a whole rabbit hole with her, and I'm gonna get into that detail when we get to that time. I'm just giving you a timeline of when I first met Janiyah. So she was younger at the time, like I said.
So really, the mother didn't want the child because she was in the streets.
And fast forward, it's like a couple months go by, right? I want to say in the same year. They ended up moving with grandma, which is Richard's mom. The other grandma, so he was with his actual, like the older grandma, the great grandma, and then no Janiyah, and then they moved into their own apartment, Janiyah, and then I didn't see them for a little minute, and she let me know, like, hey, you know what? They moved out of state. This is when they moved out of state again. They left. And I wasn't sure where they went. Like I said, she didn't have a phone. So when she did have a phone, her and Richard always shared phones. And I used to be like, why you don't get your own phone so that way we can get in contact with each other? And she was like, well, he don't allow me to he don't like when I be on social media and stuff. And I thought that was weird. Because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why don't he want you to have comments? Like, I thought that was a red flag for me. That he wanted her to himself. That's what I felt like, So then when they did end up coming back, they ended up moving with his mother, Richard's mom. But Richard's mom was weird. Like, she's creepy looking. Like, I don't know. Something about them just didn't sit right. She let me know that.
This is the baby daddy mama, y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with she don't look creepy to me. They wear glasses.
Her and the mom got to a physical fight, and she was saying that she was coddling her son, and she was like basically agging her. Like she kept picking with shit. She kept picking with shit, and that's the same thing like anybody else. That doesn't mean that she's a violent person, but hey, if you gotta defend yourself, dude, what the hell are you gonna do in that situation? You gonna defend yourself, right? So then around that time, I asked her about the baby, and I'm like, well, are you guys planning on having more kids? Like, they were saying that they wanted to get their own place, and that even Richard was saying that his mom was acting weird. Like she was kind of jealous of their relationship. Like, and at the time, like I said, I thought that Richard was a sweet dude in the beginning. Like, that's what I really felt about him. Like, I thought he was a cool dude, and I was so happy that my friend found somebody that loved her through everything that she's been through, at a young age, because Chevion got molested as a child, and her family gave up. So how we got back reacquainted again, but I'm happy that we did because that's my true friend, And what we did this time, they lived in Boulder Highway, the suite. So I came over to come visit, and then I love my friend so much to where I was somewhere else staying somewhere else, but I left that person's house to come staying here, why not help clean up? You know, so I would clean up, go grocery shopping, make sure we got food in there, and we would just always have conversations. Like they would go sit in the bed, and I would sit in the bed like by them, and at the edge of the bed, and we would just sit there and talk about life. And good, like we would have some good stuff to talk about. But something that strikes me very weird was every time that he got off of work, she would unlock the door for him because he claimed that. But she told me this, okay? So I never heard Richard say this out of his own mouth, but quote unquote, don't leave the door locked when he's coming in. And like basically the neighborhood that they were in is a really bad neighborhood. People walk in people's doors all the time and do numerous of things to people. So I was like weirded out about that because there's girls in the house. So now we have a total of we have in total of 5 girls that's in the house. So why would we want to lock the door until he get here? Like, what's the difference from him knocking at the door and putting his key? Like, what was the difference about that? So then a little time go by. So now I'm here for like a month or so, 2 months. Now me and Chevy, we're looking for jobs and stuff. She was trying to put me on a job. She did my hair for my birthday. Oh, shout out. Oh, shout out to her because she really did a really good hairstyle on me. But at the time, then she broke out and told me that
She seemed like she's a nice friend. Do y'all think so? All right.
Richard didn't feel comfortable with me and her in the same house together with the door locked. And then I was like, well, why would he feel like that? And she was like, well, I did slip up and tell him about me and you know, having, our little relations when we were younger. I'm like, Chevy, why would you tell him that? But from there, that's when his attitude towards me was weird. And then he asked me one day, can he discipline my children? And I'm like, absolutely not. walked in and she was like trying to go down on my youngest baby. Or your heart's gonna feel funny, because she used to do bad stuff though. Like, don't get me wrong, every kid got their perks, and she used to do stuff that, like, she'll cut up a dog hair and then blame it on my kids, and then say, well, they did, or she would throw something somewhere and then be like, well, they did. Like, she did do little conniving stuff like that. Like, as a little kid, kids do stuff like towards each other to get each other in trouble. So Janiyah would do things like that and then blame my children. And sometimes they did do it, and sometimes they really didn't do it. So she would get in trouble for that, like blaming people, and they held her accountable for the stuff. That's one thing I liked about how they disciplined her, because they didn't just be like, oh, well, my child's not doing anything, and coddling her. They looked at it.
Introducing Ninja Trader Pro, a platform built for the.
So what you
Like, you're in trouble. Like, you can't do anything. You can't play with no toys. You just say your numbers and stuff like that. Like, it would be on that matter. But I'm always outside, so I would leave, come back, I had a little friend over there, like a little boo thing, which we would call that a little lover in the area, right? And so I would always step down and go where I'm going, and I'll be like, hey, well, can you guys watch the kids? Yada yada yada, and they will watch the kids a lot. So fast forward, this was like a week prior to my birthday. No, actually, this was like 2 days after my birthday. My birthday was August 19th, 2019 at the time. Like 2 days after that, that's when me and Chevy had gotten to our argument. But remind you, I didn't know that. I felt weird though after a while about Richard, because once she started telling me that he was having conversations with the baby mama, and they were talking about getting back together again, and her coming back out here, like from there, I started feeling like, yeah, he's weird, friend. Like, you don't need to be with nobody like that.
At what point do you think it would have been August of 2019 that there was talk of Janiyah's mother and Richard getting back together?
Yes. So basically, remember I told you that whenever she had trouble in paradise with her God, she really not expressive about it. It was like he was recording her or something. Like, he had like a recording device. She really didn't want to like say what it was that was going on. But I had my baby's birthday there. We had a pool party on the 14th, and then mine was on the 19th, and then I was supposed to help them with Janiyah's birthday, because her birthday was coming up that same following month, because I know that it was August something. Like, her birthday was around our birthday. 2 days after my birthday, I went out to go see my friend, came back. The next day, Richard tried to, I think Richard had got fired from Walmart. So she was saying he just lost his job, and they're trying to find like different money revenues to like help him pay the rent. And she was saying like, this is why I went out to go to the donated place. Like, I've never been to a plasma place at the time, and they was telling me that, at least if I can help out with something. So I went to the donating place, but they wouldn't allow me to donate plasma because I was bleeding at the time. So when I came back, I had to break the news to them, like, hey, I couldn't help with anything, but if I come up with something, I'll make sure that I help. That's just my heart. I'm gonna always pay for wherever I'm staying, whatever. So me and her, I had ended up getting my food stamps, and they got a We Buy We Fry out here about the chicken. We go get chicken and stuff like that. So I was like, Chevy, hey, you want to get it's sunny. We can go get some chicken. We could probably talk about some. We could probably talk about some extra things that we can do to try to get some money to help you guys. So I went to the place, came back, but around me and Chevion when so early that morning I had went to go to the donated place. In the evening, me and Chevion went to go get chicken, and that's when she was telling me about the child's mom, how he was coming back. She was coming back out here, and she said she should be on her way from wherever she was coming from. And like I said, I didn't know where she was coming from or anything, but I knew that she was on her way out here. And she was telling me how they was getting back together, like they wanted their family back.
Janiyah's mother was coming out there then? She was on the way out there?
Yeah, like she was saying that she should be on her way, like coming from wherever she was coming from.
And when exactly was this? Do you know?
I know that she showed me the text messages. That's all I can say. She showed me the text messages, but it was recent though. Like they was just talking the day before. Her and Richard, the mother, to whoever the girl is. So they both.
Chevion had discovered these text messages between Richard and Janiyah's mother. Yeah.
Yeah, because like sometimes he would take the phone. Sometimes she, like sometimes they would switch off with the phone. I remember like a day before my birthday, that's when I discovered that she was trying to fight for a little boy. She was telling me that she's trying to get the little boy out here. And she was like, if don't nobody want to take care of him, he can come down here, And I was like, well, who is the little boy? And that's when she kind of like went into details, but she never said anything about it being her child per se. But I thought that was weird. If you guys are already struggling right now, why would you want another child? But I didn't think of it as, hey, that might be her child. I just thought of it like, well, who is the little boy? Like who is the special boy that you're trying to get down here?
Let me see if I can put some pieces together. Possibly. This is when Janiyah's mother's coming out. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then there's talk of another little boy coming as well.
Yes.
And he could stay with basically Richard and Chevion if he needs to. And you think that this might be because Chevion was supposedly pregnant, or she was pregnant actually. She was pregnant.
Yeah.
We know that. Yeah. You saw Chevion pregnant.
Yes.
And then we've never seen a baby from Chevion, and we don't know where that kid went. And you're under the impression that this boy that we're talking about might have been that child. Is it possible that because I know that Janiyah's brother, I guess her half brother, would be Dion, I think his name is, and his father would be Bruce or Shug, which would be Janiyah's mother's other baby daddy. Could it possibly have been Dion?
Yes. Yes. It was a lot of drama going on out there. When everything happened, I didn't really hear from Richard. I didn't hear from none of the family.
I don't think it was Chevion. I don't think it was Chevion child because the mother didn't. Janiyah's mother didn't even want her. So why would she take Chevion the child from her? Nah. No.
Nobody he didn't even call me to let me know. Like if you felt like my friend did something to your child, then why didn't you call my phone and let me know what was going on? Because I was just there. That's what was weird about it.
And when you say you were just there, you were there. I think the Saturday before you had watched Janiyah.
Yeah, when I watched Janiyah.
Is that the same night or weekend that you discovered Janiyah acting inappropriate with your child?
No, that didn't happen. Like it was kind of like I said, he tried to make it seem like, oh, she just got disciplined around that time. No, it didn't happen when we first moved over here. Like they corrected it, and that was
expose a lie on Richard there immediately. And if we notice that Chevion actually, in her interviews, when the police brought that up to her, she didn't seem to understand what Richard might have been referring to. So it seems to me like Richard may have been trying to use that old incident as a way to justify the bruises that were on
Right.
Janiah's bottom.
Right.
Well, tell me this, because Richard also mentioned that Janiyah wakes up in a cold sweat, like deep sweat. Did you notice anything like that with Janiyah, that she had trouble sleeping, or?
She did have problems with sleeping, but he was the one that woke up in cold sweats. The bed was so soaked every day that he woke up. He was the one with the cold sweats. And I told her, I was like, why do you sweat like that?
Do you think Janiyah didn't, or do you think it's possible they both did?
It could have been genetic. It could have been genetic.
Well, it also could have been, some kind of shared trauma that they both experienced. I mean, if there's sexual assault, and say the possibility Richard was sexually assaulted as a kid, and he's passed on that.
With her.
Razor slips.
Mountain Performance TV is the hardest working.
In the family, because she started witnessing, like, hey, well, I come from, and I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of being like irritable, like, hey, I'm gonna turn, like, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about, I'm gonna turn this air up. So I turned the air up. He came back out and turned it off, and then I was like, well, it's cold in here. Everybody's sick. Everybody's running nose. Like, you guys need to tell them to come fix the AC and fix the filter and da 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 da. And she was like, well, don't turn it off and da 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 da. And then we ended up getting into it like really bad, like some sister shit. Like, Richard was in the back, but he was like saying something, but I couldn't really hear him because me and her was going back and forth. She was like, well, you could get the fuck out. And I was like, damn, you gonna put me out over some air conditioning? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have to touch the air conditioner. But I was just, at the time, I was like, bro, you're not finna just do me like that, knowing that we staying here, And it almost got physical between me and her. That whole situation almost got physical. So I went to sit outside. I brought my kids outside on the stairs, and probably 10 minutes go by, I'm on the phone with my mom chatting up, telling her about everything that's going on. Like, can you come get us? This bitch is weird. I'm ready to go. And so she comes out like, y'all could come in. Like, don't be weird, Like, at least if you don't want to come in, you could bring my nieces in. And I was like, nah, fuck you. Like, in that energy. And from there, that's when I left. My mom came and picked us up. But Richard was always keeping Janiyah close. Like, he wouldn't let her do anything by herself. And I was like, we used to be like, that was weird. Like, even when I had a birthday party for my baby, like, all the kids was out running and playing, and he kept Janiyah right there by him. Like, we was all smoking and stuff. We was drinking, like, cussing, doing whatever, and we was like, well, why don't she go out there and play with the kids? Like, at this time, that's when Richard just started acting weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like a weird vibe from him. Like, he just started being weird. When I was outside and she was like, oh, don't be acting weird and you and the girls can come in the house, Chevion, she said, Richard want us to fight. Basically, he was taunting her while she was in the house by herself, while I was outside. And he was like telling her, like, you fight everybody else, why you don't fight her? And he was referring to his mom and the family and stuff like that. Like, basically, why we not fight? And she was like, no, I'm not going to fight my friend, like, without no air conditioner. That's stupid. So when she told me that, I'm like, word? You said that? And from there, that's when I stopped liking him. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be around him. I told my mom to come get me. We left. A couple of days go by, probably like a week go by. I ran into Richard on the bus. Mind you, I haven't talked to Shannon. I was just pissed off. I was angry at her. I was angry at him because, like, dude, I thought she was a respectable dude. Like, why would you want me and my friend to fight? Like, it was just weird to me. That's when I moved back to my mom's house. I felt like she kind of chose him over me in that situation. But I mean, what else was she supposed to do? She was already damn well. A week go by. I run into to Richard on the Flamingo bus, and he tells me that Chevion needs a friend to be there for her. You egged me and my friend on the fight, and now you want us to get cool again? Like, that was just weird to me. You know, he was like, here, call the number. Whenever you get home, I know you're mad at her, but whenever you get home, call her so y'all can make up. Like, you know, you guys are sisters. And so I was like, okay, whatever. So I messed up with Shay. I told her, I was like, I'm mad at you still. I still come see you. So that's when I met up with her at the bus stop. I told her, I was like, I'm not going in his house. I was like, didn't he say that he wanted us to fight? I'm like, I'm not going to his house. He's weird. Like, that was weird to me. You know, I thought he was cool with me. Like, why would you do that? I ended up at the bus stop with her. And that's when I realized something. Friend, you look dark. Like, you look like shit. Like, basically, like, I've never seen my friend like that. She always keep herself up. You know, even if her appearance wasn't up, her hair was up. Like, she was always looking decent, you know? So I'm like, are you okay? Like, is everything all right? Because he was saying that I need to be here for you. Like, what's going on, you know? And she was telling me that they had to get out of their apartment soon, that they didn't have money and stuff like that. And that's when she proceeds to ask me, can I make money with her? Go out and make money with her and stuff like that. And then we just sit there and did our catching up. And then that's when she asked me, can I watch Janiyah? She was like, can you watch Janiyah for me? Because we need to get out. I barely get to get out. Me and Richard's gonna go out with the best friend. Now that's the best friend that was in Popeyes, with Richard. And she told me that they're taking them out on like a date or something, like they was doing like a double date together. So I said, I don't mind. You know, they watch my kids so many times. I didn't mind. So that's when I was like, don't trip. Okay, Friday, I think I told them, that's why I keep saying Friday. That Friday, I told them I would spend the night. And then, or something. No, I told them that I would be on the bus early that day and come over and spend time with them until they leave. So I came over. I was like, fuck it, I'll just come in because I got to watch Janiyah anyways, you know? So I came over with my kids, and then I watched Janiyah because they left that later on that night. They went out, came back. I asked them, can they watch the kids for that morning? And then they told me that they had to go watch their other friends' kids. They was going to work for money. So that was going to be their occupation.
Huggies Festives are
Going to be their occupation for a moment, watching their kids for them, and they was going to get paid. So I was like, good, y'all figured something out. I was happy for them. So I was like, you know, that's what's up, right? I know that y'all was stressing out about it. I told her I was going to call her when I get home. When I got home, I called her on the phone. We was talking on the phone, and I'm like, I'm on my way to my little friend's house, and yada, yada. I just made it. And that's when she tells me that Janiyah just got in trouble for making other kids do inappropriate things. And then after that, she said, I would call you right back. I heard a little commotion in the back, and then that was the last time I talked to her. The phone disconnected, that was the last time. And then the next time I saw her, she was on the news saying the death of a six-year-old baby.
You noticed some weird things about Richard as well. So now a lot of people have noticed that in the television in the sky or something. He has this. Is that something typical of Richard, or
It just always looked like bugged out. Like his eyes was I don't even know how to explain the eyes. Like his eyes always look weird to me. Like the way I just thought maybe that's just how he looks. But I always just got a weird vibe from him because of his eyes. Like his eyes always gave it away. Like I didn't know if he was angry. I didn't know if he was sad. I didn't know if it was just a blank expression. He always had this like blank expression on him. Another thing that I want to talk about too as well, because forgive me, I don't want to leave nothing out. One time I walked in the house, and the way the apartment, as you can see on the video of how the apartment is, there's this it's a view that you can see inside the room, but you would actually have to like kind of walk past, like if you tall enough to see, or stand on the couch if you're short like a kid to see inside their room. And basically, when I walked in one time, I saw him and Chevion. So when Chevion walked out of the room, I tell her like, "Girl, you know I seen y'all," and this is when I was staying with them. Like I said, I don't want to forgive me. I don't want to leave anything out. It's so many tips and pointers that I'm running through trying to get through that. You know, if he knew that he saw, why didn't he stop? That was like it was like he got off to my face. So she was like, "What? You saw us?" I was like, "Yeah, girl. I walked past." As she's older, like her eyes was super big. So that kind of creeped me out. I'm not gonna lie, I was like very creeped out by that. But yeah, and then the doors unlocked for me, and then I'm like, okay, like, but when she came out, I was like, girl, just to let you know, 411, FYI, I seen y'all. And from there, she was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, she was even apologetic about it. Like, my bad, girl. I didn't even know, like, that you was able to see, or I didn't even know you came back. And I was like, yeah, he saw me.
you know, your mom also told me that I guess during one of your kids' birthday parties that Richard had some friends over and stuff, and he was in the room while all the kids were playing in that front room for the birthday party, like for your kid's birthday party. She said it was very odd because they were all in there smoking in the room, and he just kept Janiyah in there in the room with them. He like wouldn't let her come out to the birthday party.
Yeah, he wouldn't. It was like he didn't want her to talk because Janiyah was very open. Like, you see how on that video as a young child, you could tell she's been like that. Like, very open with outwardly about how she felt with her expressions. So I felt like he kept her in the room because he didn't want her to talk about something to somebody else. And we thought that was so strange because every other kid was running back and forth. We had a pool party going on. We had food going on. We had like it was nice. Like we did a whole. That's how Chevy ended up meeting the couple with the kids that they went to go watch. Her and Richard. So because I'm very like community friendly. Like when I go places, I always end up with friends everywhere because I could kind of fit in everywhere I go, And Chevy, before I came, they barely stepped outside unless Richard went to go take care of business. It was like she was like stuck.
I'll have listen.
Position. Like every day. It was the same routine every day. Their routine was the same thing every day until I
All right, y'all. Anywho, a little update of what happened because I ain't want to hear all that. Okay, it said right here, and I knew they. I guess they talking about the father. I'm looking for an update for you all. A 25-year-old man was arrested in the death of a 5-year-old daughter nearly a year after his girlfriend was arrested in the child's death. I thought they was talking about Richard. Richard. Now, Richard was booked at the Clark County Detention Center on Monday on 1 count of murder and 6 count of child abuse and substantial, bodily harm. After the police said the autopsy results in March bumped David from a person of interest to a suspect in the death, according to the motion filed by the state. He went to court February of 2023, and they locked him up, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm just trying to put awareness on it. I stayed up half of the night looking at this. I really kind of felt, I couldn't go to sleep. I just was thinking about Janiyah in other cases. And I see why some mothers don't want I see why some young girls don't want their kids around everybody, around some men's girlfriend. Because a situation like this, or either the boyfriend situation like this. Now I see why they feel this way. But y'all, hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.